There are rare moments when the noise of everyday life fades, and a profound question surfaces: what is the true meaning of existence? This question shakes the very foundation of self-understanding, opening a door to transformation. Once these existential lessons are grasped, life is never seen the same way again. Existential philosophy and psychology challenge the superficial understanding of life. They urge individuals to confront discomfort, ambiguity, and uncertainty, elements often avoided in a culture obsessed with certainty and quick fixes. From Carl Jung's deep exploration of the unconscious to Fyodor Dostoevsky's literary portrayal of suffering and freedom, existential lessons reveal how meaning can be forged in the crucible of struggle and reflection. Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow, the unconscious part of the personality containing traits, desires, and emotions rejected by the conscious self. This shadow is not evil or monstrous. Rather, it is the neglected side of one's being that holds immense potential for growth and wholeness. Imagine a person who prides themselves on kindness and generosity, but harbors deep resentment or jealousy they dare not admit, even to themselves. This hidden aspect of the self can manifest in subtle ways: passive-aggressive behavior, irrational fears, or self-sabotage. A real-life example comes from the story of a famous artist who, after years of struggling with creative blocks and anxiety, underwent deep psychological work to confront his shadow. Through therapy, he discovered repressed anger towards a critical parent that had unconsciously limited his artistic freedom. By acknowledging and integrating this anger, his creativity blossomed and he found a new authenticity in his work. From a philosophical perspective, Jung's idea aligns with Dostoevsky's exploration of the human psyche. Dostoevsky's characters frequently confront their own dark impulses and moral failures. But through this confrontation, they often reach moments of profound insight. In Notes from Underground, the narrator is painfully aware of his flaws and contradictions, embodying the struggle with the shadow self. While Jung approaches the shadow as a psychological archetype that must be integrated for wholeness, Dostoevsky dramatizes this inner conflict as a moral and spiritual battle. Both perspectives highlight the necessity of facing the darkness to become truly whole. Question: what hidden parts of the self might be limiting authentic living, and what would happen if they were brought into light? Fyodor Dostoevsky's writings reveal suffering not merely as pain, but as a catalyst for existential awakening. His characters wrestle with despair, guilt, and alienation, yet through this suffering, they encounter moments of clarity and spiritual rebirth. In Crime and Punishment, the protagonist's torment leads to moral awakening, suggesting that suffering can strip away illusions, forcing confrontation with one's true self. Dostoevsky's insight disrupts the modern tendency to avoid pain at all costs, proposing instead that meaning often arises from embracing rather than escaping suffering. Consider Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, who emphasized that those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. His experience in the camps confirmed that suffering without meaning crushes the human spirit, but suffering embraced as part of a purposeful life can strengthen it. Jung and Dostoevsky both see suffering as necessary for growth, but differ in emphasis. Jung views it as a confrontation with unconscious contents, while Dostoevsky frames it within moral and spiritual conflict. Together, their insights deepen understanding of suffering as transformative. Could suffering be an invitation to discover deeper purpose rather than a mere obstacle? Jung viewed life as a journey toward individuation, the process by which a person becomes their unique self. This journey demands moving beyond societal expectations and external identities to explore the depths of the unconscious. The path involves dialogue with inner archetypes through dreams, symbols, and introspection, revealing parts of the psyche often neglected. Individuation is not linear or comfortable. It is filled with tension, contradictions, and moments of despair, but ultimately leads to a richer, more authentic life. For instance, Jung described a patient who repeatedly failed in relationships. Through therapy, she uncovered unconscious fears of abandonment rooted in childhood trauma. This recognition allowed her to change her patterns and seek healthier connections, illustrating individuation's transformative power. Question: in a world full of expectations, how often is there space to hear the true self's voice? Dostoevsky explored the terrifying nature of freedom, the realization that humans are condemned to choose, even when the right choice is unclear. This freedom carries immense responsibility and often anxiety. In The Brothers Karamazov, the tension between freedom and authority, choice and consequence is central. True freedom demands owning one's decisions and their impacts without blaming external forces. This responsibility is daunting but necessary for authentic existence. Philosophically, Jung acknowledged this paradox too. The freedom to choose is paired with the burden of consequences, requiring mature acceptance. Dostoevsky dramatizes the moral anguish of freedom, while Jung frames it psychologically as a necessary challenge for growth. Both stress the importance of embracing responsibility to live fully. How does responsibility shape or limit the freedom one experiences? Modern culture often equates happiness with pleasure, material success, or distractions. Both Jung and Dostoevsky challenge this, emphasizing that fulfillment stems from meaning, not mere pleasure. Jung taught that when life lacks meaning, psychological emptiness ensues. Dostoevsky's characters find moments of grace through suffering and moral struggle rather than comfort. Viktor Frankl, building on their legacies, said, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." This profound truth places meaning as the anchor that sustains people through hardship. Meaning transforms existence from a passive experience to an active creation. When pleasures fade, what sustains the spirit through life's trials? The conclusion is, existential lessons demand courage to confront discomfort, ambiguity, and sometimes despair. Through them, life transforms from a series of events to a conscious journey toward authenticity and meaning. Drawing on Jung's psychology and Dostoevsky's literature, these lessons invite a deep awakening, a revolution within that changes not just what one thinks, but who one is. The true transformation lies not in answers, but in embracing the questions fully. Which existential lesson resonates most deeply today, and what might change by embracing it?